Hi everyone, welcome back to this episode of The Backstory. Today I have with me one of my good friends, Abdullah, and he'll just give a short introduction about himself and then we'll get straight into the podcast.
Alright, thank you, Musfa. Hi guys, my name's Abdullah. I'm just about to graduate at the University of Warwick. I've been living here for the past 3 years, on and off, going back between here and home. I'm from Karachi in Pakistan. I grew up there all my life, and hopefully I'll be staying on here after graduation for a little bit. And just getting stuck into work from I think December.
Yeah, nice. So I want to start off with just asking you how it was, coming into uni and how it was in terms of the transition before, you talked about you lived in Pakistan and you grew up there.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously me as well, originally coming from there, I had a slightly different upbringing in terms of the country.
Yeah.
But I think when you come into uni, it's a very unfamiliar situation for everyone.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to ask personally for you, and you can, talk about how it was for you to transition from, high school and your life in Pakistan to shifting to the UK.
Right.
How was it at the start?
I think, well, first off, it's not that I'm unfamiliar with the UK. I've been here many times before.
Yeah.
Been to London, etc. But the thing is, I think my life in Pakistan is extremely different to how my life was here.
Yeah.
And then my life in second and third year onwards from first year is completely different as well.
Yeah.
So, the transition wasn't easy. I mean, it was sort of facilitated by the fact that I have some sort of familiarity with the country, the place, the people, but just living here is completely different, right? I acknowledge whatever privilege I have at home, just having to do everything on your own, managing your time, managing your work, feeding yourself, keeping yourself healthy, going to the gym, just doing random hobbies that you would usually do at home. I think doing all of that stuff, I think it's just time is probably the best medicine for that kind of stuff, in my opinion.
How long did you think it took you to adjust to that? Because I think all of us were in a similar position in that way, that we had to sort of just figure it out on our own, right? You could get all the advice from the outside, but at the end of the day, it's up to you.
No, definitely. No, I think it took me a large chunk of first year. I mean, I once remember we had this chat for our Sherborne group, which was our residence in first year, and this one guy said that you have to be flipping crazy to set an induction hob on fire, and I did that exact same thing that very night.
Did you actually?
Yeah, because I left it on so hard, and then fucking fire just burst out of it, and I was like, damn.
Oh
why did that happen? And I burnt many steaks, flipping.
You learn from these things.
Left stuff in the oven for ages, just the kind of childish stuff which you would hope not to do, but I guess you just have to go through the mud to actually pull yourself out of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I think it was interesting though. I've honestly 3 years has gone by in a flash. You know how people say that a certain phase of your life just whizzes by.
Yeah, but definitely we're in that phase.
Yeah, but this is genuinely, it's gone by insanely quick.
Yeah.
I mean, we had COVID in the middle as well, so that was just I guess you could call it a grace period from uni. But not really. I guess it was a whole year that just went flying by, out of the whole experience and everything.
Yeah.
So that's generally, I think with the transitions, it got much better in second year, I think.
Yeah.
Because when you sort of move out of university accommodation where majority of the things are managed for you, you have your cleaners coming in,
exactly.
The trash gets taken out, blah blah blah. You can sort of end up depending on a lot of other people in your flat and get away with doing certain things. You can't really do that when you're on your own, and then living on my own was, living outside of university, that's when the true the learning, the experience that really sort of came in. And then I think I ended up just mastering the things that I was making a shit show of in the beginning. So yeah, it was interesting, definitely.
I mean, you spoke about your flat, so I think that nicely transitions us into how we found, I think, the majority of our friends in first year through your flat.
Yeah.
I think it was quite interesting that, you know, like for me personally, coming and meeting you after like, you know, so many years. And then not being sure about, you know, like if we would even get along or be good friends.
100%.
I'm sure it was the same for you guys. Because you three, for people who don't know.
I honestly thought that this guy's been living in Switzerland for the past 12 years.
Yeah.
I saw him in school last when we were like, what, like 7 years old.
Legit, yeah.
So I didn't really know how you would have honestly lived your life. The kind of, I guess, the kind of mindset that you would have.
Yeah.
I guess it's very different, obviously, living in a Western country versus a sort of strict or traditional conservative country like Pakistan.
I think that way, like, the reason we got along a lot and still do is because of the fact that even though
I think we had like a base to connect on, right?
We
like,
had that
sort
base,
of just had that base to touch down on and say, hey, like we have so many things in common.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it just sprouted really well from there, I'm not gonna lie.
So I think that nicely takes us into what I wanted to ask you, how it was for you in the first week, when you first, you know, come to your accommodation, and you know, us four, we had all different accommodations, and it could be a bit tough, especially in that first week. And what was your initial reaction of the people you met? Luckily, they turned out to be good friends of ours, most of them. In fact, all of them actually.
Dude, but, you know, I won't lie. I've literally been in the same school my entire life.
Yeah.
So I've never been in the position where I'm the new kid.
Yeah.
So when I came to uni, and everyone is sort of introducing themselves to each other and say, hey, like, I'm from Pakistan, like, where are you from? Like, bro, I did not know how to do that.
You said something that you went into your room or something.
I was properly like drowning in
aliens. That's what I remember you saying.
I did not know what to do. Yeah. And the thing is, like, my mom had come to drop me. And like, okay, yeah, she'd come and visit and see campus and blah, blah, blah. And she'd come and stay, like, just chill in my room with me and help me unpack. I would sit in the room the whole day just to avoid people, like, just to avoid the rest of my flat in the kitchen. Like, everyone was socializing. Also, by the way, that socializing just lasted like 1 week. After that, no one gave a fuck about anyone. Okay, there was all like, there was 2 people in my flat who I did not see the whole year straight up, but they were like super active and super social in that first like freshers week, getting to know each other and stuff like that. But my point is, like, it was tough.
Yeah.
I was always the one to help people integrate. I didn't have to make myself integrate in a way. So that was definitely one of the main things that I had to deal with when I was there. But I was very, very lucky because the friends that I made in that flat in first year are still very close friends of mine. In fact, some of my best friends from uni. Like, literally, the girl who lived right in front of me. So I still remember, like, we still joke about this to this day. She was the first one.
You can say Mariana.
Yeah, Mariana. Like, she literally, she said hello to me, and I genuinely like panicked, and I was like, hi, and I fucking just like went into my room ASAP. I was genuinely like fumbling my keys when she was walking up to me, and that makes me sound like some real like.
No, it's normal.
Like, I've never like spoken to people, but no, bro, it was tough.
I think, like, just to add on to that, even for me personally, I remember my dad, he noticed that when he dropped me to uni, I was just eating less, and I was just like speaking less, and although I didn't feel nervous, like, I guess it's just subconsciously you feel a little bit of anxiety and nerves.
Definitely.
Because for me, I think personally, it was very different to all my friends, like our close friends at school. They each had another person at uni. So it was different.
I had that too, actually.
Because exactly.
I had like Shan and Hamza as well. But then again, like, I feel, you know, each of us had our own path to take. And we did grow into a lot of things together. We did experience a lot of firsts together. But the thing is, like, there's only a certain extent to which you can share that first time experience, right? So
and I remember like coming in. I remember coming in pretty late to uni freshers week because of a visa issue. And it's funny because my flat was different to yours in every way. Like, your flat was everyone was friends and would sort of go out together. And for me, it was like our flat was more divisive in that way, is that they already had external friend groups made, maybe prior to uni or just because they spoke different languages. So when I came, it wasn't so much like, they're chilling all together. So that way it was a bit, that I was forced
I definitely have to acknowledge like that. Yeah. I did really strike lucky with my flat, honestly, because I mean, like, literally, bro, even you're friends with all of them. Like, bro, Raj.
I am.
Mariana, Joe, Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, all these guys, Sasha, Emily, Hinisha. That's like the whole flat, practically.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was good stuff.
So, we spoke a little bit about our routine and how that changed over the 3 years of uni. So, do you have like any advice, or you want to suggest anything for other people who are maybe starting uni or have come, from a different part of the world and just don't know how to, just live properly and effectively? So
I mean, before I give advice, like, the one thing I'd say is that, like, how we were talking about building your routine based on your experiences. So you build your experiences, you build on your routine as well. I think that, like, when you're an international student, you come to a different country, you sort of need to be aware of the fact that you can't just pick up your life from home and just plop it down into a different country, completely, like, different culture, different people, different way of life. That's just, like, again, that's just not how it works in the real world, especially.
So if you had one piece of advice that you would give to yourself, in the first days of uni, let's say the first day, and you have 3 main things, or just a couple, just pointers that you would give to that person on how they could live.
Yeah.
What would you say?
How they could live? I'm one to talk, man. I think
it doesn't mean that you're like perfect right now.
I know.
Yeah. Because we aren't.
I think the most important thing that I would tell myself is, make the most of the opportunities that you have. I think that's one really important thing, because it's easy to sort of dismiss things and say that, like, I'll have time to do it tomorrow, I'll have time to do it next year. I don't think I can manage it this year because I'm busy settling in. No, man, just dive into stuff. You've got to just, like, take things when they're there, because you don't know. I mean, did we know that COVID would happen? No, right? Like, we didn't know that 1.5 years would just pass by with us not even going to campus and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, I think one thing, take the opportunities that present themselves to you, because those are important. Second, I would probably say, like, really, really focus on, I think, internalizing the things that you learn. Not just academically, but just from, like, just day-to-day living, like how to interact with people, how it's done here. Sort of, you've got to internalize certain cues to help yourself. It's not about anyone else but yourself. And those cues are really, really important for you to, be able to give respect and gain respect as well. Because that's really, really important, because now look, like, we're gonna, fingers crossed, gonna start working September, December, stuff like that. Like, that's a completely different part of life, man. Like, after uni, like, school was different, and then there's uni. Uni passed way too quick. And now we're working. We're not gonna have, like, we won't be sitting around in the park like this all the time now. And yeah, I think just coming back again to what I said originally, like, internalizing those things that you learn, and really sort of ingraining those things in yourself is so important.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that just helps you get around, man. It helps you just be better. Because, like, I mean, we're constantly improving. You learn something new every day. I mean, there's certain things that I've been doing for so long, and then Jack comes and tells me, oh, like, that's just not how it's done. And I'm like, oh, fair enough, man.
Yeah.
And then, but the thing is, like, if I don't remember anything that Jack tells me, then what's the point? Because, I mean, he clearly knows what's up, right? So yeah, that's why just just latch on to those things that you learn.
Yeah,
because it's so important.
For sure. So I wanted to ask you about homesickness and how it was for you to be away from home and also be away from uni, and how, how it changed over the 3 years. How willing were you to come back, and how much did you want to come back? Because I think, just to start off with, firstly, I'll share what it was for me. Is that in first year, I think when we went back the first time, which was in December, to our home countries, it was just so good for everyone to be back there, and it sort of made me in particular less willing to go back.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it was for you that time, and how
We're
that
less willing to go back home?
Less willing to come back to uni.
Oh, come back to uni.
Once you are home.
Okay.
So how was it for you?
I definitely, I think I'd probably echo that as well. I think that first time where you go back home in December, term 1, year 1.
Yeah.
That's like the most exciting thing ever, bro. Like, you've been away from home for like an extended period of time. Like for me, like 3.5 months. That was a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we spoke about this at one point. Like, when you build a comfort zone outside your comfort zone, in a way, that's probably what just pulls you back. And then you sort of just get used to, the kind of life that you need to be living abroad or outside away from the life that you've been living for the past, 19 years.
Yeah.
So I think that's, like, it definitely gets better though with time, and then eventually you stop wanting to always go back home, and you just, you're like, okay, yeah, I want to stay here, I want to explore, I want to spend more time here. So yeah, I think like it takes a turn, like just sort of the tables turn over time.
Yeah.
Again, like just as we've been talking about, like, throughout the rest of our discussion, like things change with time, things change with experience.
Yeah.
And those experiences really shape the perceptions that you have of, just like being in university. So yeah.
And during COVID, I think that was something, nobody expected. And
yeah, definitely.
And we were home for a long period of time with actually not much hope, or like not much, we didn't know much if we would come back at all.
Yeah.
Like we weren't sure about, let alone second year, the whole degree, being able to, doing that from uni. Yeah. So how did you feel like that affected you? And especially when we came back for that first term in second year, all got COVID, and essentially didn't even leave our house, and were there for like a month and then went back. Yeah. Probably made us even less eager to come back. And which is
I feel like it changed again because it felt like a reset in a way. Like all of my friends, people who were studying in Pakistan, people studying in Canada, the US, Europe, the UK, everyone was just back home. Yeah. And it was sort of like this period of time where, like I think everyone realized that this is the kind of period of time where we're not ever going to get back again. I mean, I don't ever see all my friends being back at home, just like good old days in school. Yeah. Okay. And like everyone was sort of going through the same thing, so I think that really like bound everyone together in a way, which was pretty cool. And I think, obviously I can't say that COVID hasn't been a tragedy. It's been extremely tragic. I've also seen like very, very tough times during COVID. Yeah. But at the same time, it was a blessing in disguise in a lot of ways. And like, I think this is one of those very interesting ways in which served as a blessing, where you're like, oh, like, I mean, you're sort of back at home. Everyone's doing their own thing, but you're all still in it together. So I think that whole in it together vibe that we had going during COVID, like I think that was probably the same with you, probably same with everyone. Like globally. I think that was one thing which really pushed us through it. And term 1 and second year when we came back, like that was so shit, man. Yeah. When we all got COVID, that was just unbelievable. Genuinely, we were back for like a month and a half. Yeah. And out of that month and a half, we didn't go out, and then 2 weeks we were inside because we had COVID. Yeah. That was bad. That was actually crazy. I think, but I don't think there was anything that ever made me not want to come back. Yeah. Because I think I did realize very early on that like 3 years is not a long time.
Yeah.
And then having almost like a whole year taken out of it makes it even shorter than it already is.
Does.
So, you know, like there was never really anything that made me say that, nah, like, you know, F it, I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
I think there was always that thing in me where I kept saying, I want to look for an opportunity to go back.
Yeah.
At some point in time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it. I mean, yeah, you do say that. What am I gonna do there? There's nothing to do. Everything was closed. But then again, like, you're in it together, right? Like, if you're back with your uni friends, whether it's like you guys or just people I know from here.
Yeah.
Almost smells a dog. Dog. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, like, you know that you guys are going through the same thing, so that sort of unites you in a way.
Yeah, I want to bring it back, like, full circle.
Yeah.
So we started off talking about, you know, identity and
Yeah.
how that changed.
Yeah.
How do you think it will be going forward? Because essentially it'll be similar in the way that we'll be learning as we go along,
Yeah.
and from experience.
Yeah.
But it'll be a different kind of learning. You
Oh,
know?
yeah,
It won't
100%.
be the educational life that we've lived
Yeah,
our whole
yeah.
life, and it'll be more of a hands-on, learn as you
Definitely.
go approach.
Dude, like, work life, then again, like, we spoke about it earlier as well,
Yeah.
like, work life is so different.
Completely different.
Work life is completely different, and, you know, like, just the time you get to mess about, do things that you just feel like doing.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't get time to do that at all.
Which we don't know.
So,
we
yeah,
don't
we
actually
don't know, right?
We
Yeah,
have no
I mean, we
clue.
don't know until we get there.
Let's see,
But I
yeah.
mean, I'm assuming that, you know, we won't have time to just go, like, bum around at a friend's place just
Yeah,
every day.
yeah, that's what we assume.
You know what I
that's we
mean?
assume.
Yeah.
But that unfamiliarity is just, it just reminds me of what it was before.
Oh, yeah,
uni.
yeah, yeah, 100%. I
Like,
see what you're
you
saying.
have no clue what to expect.
But see, then again, I think these 3 years really prepare you
yes,
to
for sure.
face like
Face
unfamiliar circumstances. And I think the way we've been through uni, through COVID,
Yeah,
you know, like, just going through shit that's unexpected,
Yeah.
it really does, I think, you know, prepare you to deal with stuff that you don't anticipate in a way. And yeah, like, I think, again, like, you learn to live in a way. You
Yeah.
learn to adapt yourself. You learn to learn and unlearn. Like, that's something that I keep saying and I keep reminding myself to do. Like, you've got to know that, okay, maybe something that I've been practicing for a long time, that just won't get me through something right now.
yeah,
So yeah, that's why you just make yourself, like, forget that and just relearn.
yeah,
I think that's something, like, that's again, like, something that I'd keep reminding myself to do. That's the kind of advice that I'd give to someone else, that always be open to learning
yeah,
and always be open to unlearning.
Yeah.
Because that kind of unlearning that comes with not just, like, you know, just making mistakes, but also, like, being criticized by people.
yeah.
You know, like, that kind of criticism, you should always take it constructively.
important, it's important.
Don't be offended by stuff. I mean, yeah, we're all human, we get offended, but just take shit on the chin, man. Like, it's really, really important when someone points something out. You know, there's no point being offended. You know, maybe there's something there that needs improvement or could be improved further.
Yeah.
So yeah, just, like, always build on criticism constructively.
Yeah.
I think that's something which is really, really important.
So thanks a lot for coming on the podcast, Abdullah.
Cheers, my
And
brother.
Hopefully you're back another time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
Had a
no
good
worries.
time.